So I've been taken off the beaten path for my Will the 49ers Beat the Rams video. It's a weekly series, and this time the weekly series is coming to you from Winters, California, a town about 6,000, about 40 minutes west of Sacramento. Long story short, I have to pick Margot up at the Sacramento airport on our way up to Tahoe, and I still have about an hour. So I said, why not feature a new town? The Buckhorn Steakhouse right behind me, a really rustic feel to downtown Winters, and I think they're about to start playing live music on the little main street behind me as well. So if you're ever coming up, this is off of Interstate 505, so it's not even off of 80. If you're ever going from the Bay Area up to Oregon and you're driving, then you're probably going to take 80 to 505 and you could pull over here in Winters. Anyway, will the 49ers beat the Rams? 5 quick keys for this football game. 1, 49ers need to continue dominating the Rams with their pass rush. This has been the case over all 8 straight regular season wins against the Rams. The 49ers D-line has been better than the Rams O-line. I think even in the NFC Championship game, it was better. There, though, the 49ers ran out of gas. We know the story of the 2021 season. They started slow, and because of that, they had to burn up all of every single bit of energy late, and they finally ran out in the fourth quarter of the NFC title game. When the 49ers have been reasonably fresh, they have been better than the Rams up front. And if that continues, I don't think that Matthew Stafford throws for 334 yards like he did last week against the Seahawks, against the Seattle team that only pressured the Rams 5 times. Remember, the 49ers pressured the Rams 28 times in week 4 of last year. Now, the Rams have a retooled offensive front, Alaric Jackson at left tackle. You still have Rob Havenstein at right tackle. The interior has switched up. Joe Noteboom, who played a little bit of tackle against the 49ers last year, he's now playing at guard. So I think the Rams are better equipped than they have been in the past. They're well equipped enough to take on Javon Hargrave, Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Drake Jackson, who turned into TJ Watt last week with all the double teams focusing elsewhere. I don't think so. I think the 49ers will take care of key 1, and that leads us to key 2. Key 2 is defend the Rams' short game, which is going to be coming as a result of the 49ers' pressure. Last year in Week 8, Matthew Stafford averaged 2.5 seconds from snap to release. But I talked about the 4 straight years of the 49ers have logged a pick 6 against the Rams. Every single one of those pick 6s has come on a throw that has traveled 1 yard or less past the line of scrimmage. That's because the Rams are running quick stuff, short game, to get away from the 49ers pass rush. And the 49ers are preying on that. 49ers linebackers, their corners, their safeties. It was Talanoa Hufanga with the pick 6 last year. I mean, every single position group has to be ready for the short game, because you know that Matthew Stafford is going to take his time releasing the football. So that's key 2. Key 3, move to the offensive side of the ball. 49ers absolutely have to neutralize Aaron Donald. He's, for how strong he is, he's not the biggest guy. And that's what makes him so special, right? Because he's got the strength, he's got the explosiveness, but it's tough to get a hand on him. Chris Firster, the 49ers offensive line coach, was talking about that. It's hard to square him up with your hands. So to beat Aaron Donald, you've got to be on your P's and your Q's. And the 49ers are in a position right now where they have handled Donald fairly well over the years, but when they did lose to the Rams in the NFC Championship game, they didn't handle Aaron Donald. He sealed the game against them. He had the game-winning pressure that sent the Rams to the Super Bowl. So I think it's Donald, and it's a lot of other hungry players. You might not notice as many players on this Rams defense, but Donald is the centerpiece. Absolutely is the centerpiece. Key 4, though, it's going to be to neutralize Byron Young and the supporting cast of Aaron Donald, because Donald can line up anywhere, right? We're going to see him at defensive tackle, but just like he did in 2019, he's going to line up over there on the edge. He's going to roar around Colton McKivitz. He's going to try to. He might even try Trent Williams, but I think that he seeks out the weakness. In 2019, he did it against Justin School, and he got a sack on the first play of the game. Colton McKivitz and Spencer Burford, those were the 49ers' offensive weaknesses last week in Pittsburgh. Donald's going to try to gash them. He's going to try to go for that sack, go for the pressure against the weaknesses. He's so versatile, he can line up anywhere. But Byron Young, this new edge rusher out of Tennessee, runs a 4.4 40, had 5 pressures last week against Seattle. That is somebody that the 49ers have to watch out for, even if Aaron Donald is not lining up against the particular position. So Colton McKivitz, maybe breathes a sigh of relief because Aaron Donald's lining up inside. Can't breathe a sigh of relief if Byron Young's out there. Byron Young can move. The get off on this guy. I mean, the Rams, they don't have Leonard Floyd anymore. They don't have Von Miller anymore, who had the awesome get off, but Byron Young caught the Seahawks by surprise last week. Seattle only had 12 yards of total offense in the second half, and he is absolutely a player that the 49ers must neutralize. Fifth and final key, take advantage of some of the new faces in the back seven for the Rams. No more Bobby Wagner this year. Ahkello Witherspoon is now a cornerback for the Rams. There should be some opportunities here for the 49ers just from a schematic perspective. We've seen Kyle Shanahan torture the Rams linebackers in the past. I think that all 5 eligibles can do some damage for the 49ers. We know that Deebo Samuel's been big against the Rams before. We know last year Christian McCaffrey made NFL history by throwing for, catching, and running for a touchdown. It just goes to show you that balance and unpredictability can keep any defense off balance. Even one like the Rams defense, which under Raheem Morris has been so good over the years, which again, only gave up those 12 second half yards to the Seahawks last week. So the 49ers have to protect. Brock Purdy has to get the ball out quickly. It's all the usual things that you have to do to win a football game. But I think schematically, the 49ers might have a chance to get even more of a leg up with so many new faces on the other side for this Rams defense. So, to answer the question here from Winters, will the 49ers beat the Rams? The answer is yes. Tune in tomorrow for the score prediction.